Hey, what's up guys? John here. The biggest threat to the U.S. real estate market is the explosion of the rental market, which is happening right now. Look at Austin, Texas. I'm going to show you 50 markets where rents are falling in a big way.
This is the news that renters have been waiting years for.
Renters across the U.S. are getting some relief. Prices are falling.
Apartment rents have been cooling off sharply for several months now.
And show you some of these new laws, these new policies that are being worked on right now to cap rent increases. But at the same time, they're doing nothing to cap the insurance increasing across the board.
If you have noticed your homeowner's insurance rates going up, you are not alone.
Home insurance costs are on the rise across the country.
Taxes increasing across the board.
Property taxes are up for many of us.
Along with soaring property values are soaring taxes.
Maintenance costs that are increasing across the board. What's happening right now is it's the greatest rug pull on the multifamily market that we've ever seen. And it's going to get so bad over the next 12 to 24 months. We're going to see millions and millions of landlords get completely pushed out of the business. We're going to see rents crash. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to show you the facts and show you exactly what's going on. I believe this is going to be one of the greatest investing opportunities in American history. Please hit the like button. Hit the like button. YouTube will share this content to educate the people about what's going on in the U.S. economy. And if you'd like to fix your credit, we would love to help you at my company, GreatCreditFast.com. That's GreatCreditFast.com. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, or any negative item in your credit report, go to GreatCreditFast.com. Click the link in the description just below this video. Schedule a free strategy session for Monday. Take a look at this. So Austin, rents have already fallen 12.5% in December. It's unreal what's happening now. Nearly every listing has a special offer. Some of these are offering, save $1,200 on your new home. Others are offering, $500 off. This is up to 6 weeks free. All of these different specials across the board, they're trying to offload this inventory because this is what's happening right now. They have 223,000 rentals available in Austin, and there are 120,000 in development in that pipeline. Over 50% of an increase in inventory inside of the next 18 months. What will happen to rents inside of that market? Rents are going to crash. Forget 12%. They're going down 30, 40% from here. Rents are going to fall in such a big way. Now, some people might say, hey, look, that's good. That's a really good thing. We need rents to go down. What many people don't realize is that landlords buy these buildings based on a return, a 3, 4, 5, 6% return. And if rents go down 10%, that means that the landlord's underwater on their building, meaning they're going to have to give the keys back to the bank. Otherwise, they're going to have to come out of pocket. And a lot of people are not going to be able to come out of pocket, across a 100-unit apartment building or 200-unit apartment building every single month. It's just not going to happen. And with multifamily and commercial loans, it's not a 30-year fixed rate loan like a home mortgage. Every 3, 5, 7, 10 years, they have to go back to the bank, and the bank is going to look at the expenses and cash flow and look at how much debt is on the property and determine if they want to extend a new line of credit or not. And if they don't, then the buyer has to come out of pocket and strike a check for the remainder of that loan. It's not many people are going to be able to do it. It's a really, really bad situation. Look at what's happening in Florida. Rents are already down 9.21%. 9.21%. Look at these markets here. There's 14 per page, down 7%, 6%, 4%, 5%. All that's 14, that's 28. Look at this. 42, 56. Rents are just going down across the board. Across the board, rents are falling. So you start to look at this chain of events, you might say, okay, well, some markets are going to be hit worse than others, and I would agree. But when you start to look at some of these policy decisions enacted right now by the Biden administration, you're going to see that this is going to impact every single market. Every single market is going to get absolutely devastated by these new policies, for landlords. And on top of that, we're at a 50-year high in apartment construction. Roughly 1.2 million units are going to be coming to market. 1.2 million more units are going to be coming to market. You're seeing evictions starting to skyrocket. Amid high rents, eviction filings in major Texas cities soar. Now look at a place like Nebraska. Many would argue it's a red state, very pro-landlord. Well, 3 days ago, they are now working on a bill to reduce eviction impact, increase gender and racial equity. Right? This is going to be what's happening in California and New York. Those policies are going to start to spread on a national level. As I'm going to show you what the Biden administration is working on now. It's major. So Biden also said that he is taking action to address rent hikes across the nation by corporate landlords and private equity firms. Now, if insurance and taxes are going up and landlords cannot push those costs onto the renter. Who eats those costs? It's going to be the landlord, right? But what they're saying is that landlords, they are using algorithms to price fix the entire market. And so the Biden administration is saying, you know what, we can't allow that. We can't allow landlords to go on Zillow and Realtor.com and Apartments.com and use these third-party platforms to see what comparable rentals are, because that's price fixing. That shouldn't be allowed. And so they partnered up with the FTC, the Department of Justice, and they're taking action to fight algorithmic collusion in the residential housing market. Like, this is a really big deal. This is a really big deal. On top of that, they're going to reform zoning and land use policies. They're deploying new finance mechanisms to build and preserve more housing. So more supply means rents are going to continue to go down. Expand and improve existing forms of federal financing. Ensure more government-owned supply of homes and other housing. Exactly, right? So you're starting to see that. Then you start to see they're also, partnering up with banks. They're look at this. They're going to be partnering up with banks to raise an additional $3.79 billion to bring another 380,000 households, to assist nearly 380,000 more households. They're really doing some really big things for the U.S. housing market. Some would say for the good, some would say for the bad, but this is what's happening, right? This is what is happening. They're going to bring those rents down. But what people don't realize is as they bring the rents down, the value of these properties goes down with it. And if 70% of all of that debt is held by regional banks, they're bringing down the regional banks, right? The regional banks are going down with it. So you have to ask yourself, well, if the regional banks are holding that debt and they're going to be going down with it, who's going to be buying? Who's going to be buying these deals? It's going to be the government. It's going to be the BlackRocks of the world, the Blackstones of the world. These large funds are going to start buying up all of these deals. And now, in the beginning, it might sound like a really good thing that rents are going to come down. But at the end, if it's owned by the large players, the BlackRocks and the Blackstones, do you think that they are going to be, a compassionate landlord like Sally and Mike, who has one or two tenants? Or do you think they're going to be price gouging? They're going to try to get every single penny that they can from the tenant. I would argue that they're acting in the best interest of their shareholders, and they're going to extract as much value from that property as they possibly can. And they're going to be doing this by increasing rents. On top of all of this, this is on the HUD, right? This is HUD.gov. I'll pull this down so you can see the URL, HUD.gov. This came out March 7th, just a couple days ago. And they're boosting housing supply. The president is calling on Congress to pass legislation to build and renovate more than 2 million homes, which will close the housing supply gap and lower housing costs for renters and homeowners. This legislation would build on executive action, the Biden-Harris administration housing supply action plans that contributed to the record housing construction last year. That plan includes the expansion of low-income housing tax credits to preserve 1.2 million more affordable rental units and new neighborhood home tax credit, their first tax provision to build and renovate affordable homes for homeownership and preserve over 400,000 starter homes. So they're unveiling a $20 billion competitive grant fund. Like, this is an absolute power move on the housing market. Like, this is going to change the housing market forever. In addition to this, they've also enacted a new plan called the All-In Side, which is a bold goal to reduce homelessness 25% by next year, right? And ultimately build a country where every person has a safe and affordable home. Well, how can everyone have a safe and affordable home if rents are expensive? They can't, right? They cannot. So you start to look at this, you're like, okay, and then you see them moving in this direction as well, where they're going to be offering $35 billion in funds to convert commercial office space. And it's not just office, by the way. They're talking about converting restaurants, dry cleaners, convenience stores, retailers, hair salons, all of these things to help accelerate conversions of commercial properties to residential use. So, like, how are rents going to stay where they are right now? They are not. In addition to all of this, you have to look at what's happening in the job market. Job market's starting to soften. And what happens generally when the job market softens? People have to either sell their homes or rent them out. And people that don't have equity in their homes, they're likely going to try to rent them out if they have a low 2, 3, 4% mortgage. So you're going to just see more and more supply coming on the rental market. Even Fitch Ratings came out saying, last month, U.S. banks with mature multifamily loans face refinancing risk. Fitch Ratings expects banks' asset quality metrics to deteriorate for certain U.S. multifamily loans, including those that are rent stabilized, reliant. And so what rent stabilized means, rent control. Rent control is a set of rules and guidelines enacted by state and local governments that will tell landlords what they can and cannot do with their properties, essentially turning landlords into property managers for the state. Right? So this is mainly very common in New York City, Los Angeles, San Francisco, other markets as well. Relied on overly optimistic rental income, increased projections, or a submarket with elevated rental vacancy rates and or excess supply. Many of those which are in the Sun Belt. I mean, you saw what's happening right now with Tides Equity, right? They're getting absolutely devastated in the Sun Belt, particularly Texas, Florida, Tennessee, Carolinas. However, the level of multifamily loans past due or on non-accruing status are still below long-term averages as well as peak levels during the Great Financial Crisis. For U.S. banks, these loans will face elevated refinancing risk when they mature this year and over the next few years. We believe the U.S. Federal Reserve will keep rates on hold before cutting them in July. I'm betting that they're not going to be cutting in July. We will see. You look at the data supplied by the Fed, it doesn't look like any rate cuts are coming soon. I mean, look at what's happened with multifamily defaults. I'll just put on here, let's just go back to last month. And the last month, and we'll click news, you're looking at some of these 49 small banks heavily exposed to bad multifamily CRE loans may topple. New York landlord defaults on market rate multifamily debt 4 days ago. 1 week ago, local multifamily outlook, J. Morgan Chase. Multifamily distress weighs on Arbor Realty. 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, New York City apartments could become a big problem. Real estate pain for regional banks. This is all what's happening, right? The last 4 weeks. So you start to pay attention to all of this, and then you see, okay, homeowners insurance has increased 11% between 2021 and 2022, and it's gone up a lot more since then. I mean, insurance is through the roof. It's absolutely through the roof. Like in a lot of these hot markets, insurance premiums grew 21% year on year in 2023. I mean, look at this. Who will buy my house if they can't get insurance? Like, they're not going down anytime soon. Look at what's going on with property taxes. Reddit, my property taxes shot up 23% for 2024. You see all these different things. I mean, another person was saying that his property taxes on average for Williamson County, homeowners paid an average of $8,000 in property taxes in 2022. So you start to look at this, everything is going up except for rents. Rents are not going up, they're going down. What do you think about this entire situation? Do you think that multifamily investing is going to be going down as one of the biggest bubbles in the U.S. housing market in history, far eclipsing what we witnessed in 2008 Great Financial Crisis with subprime home mortgages? Drop below. Let's have a conversation about this. And if you'd like to fix your credit to position yourself what I believe is going to be a massive investing opportunity, we'd love to help you at my company, GreatCreditFast.com. That's GreatCreditFast.com. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, or any negative item in your credit report, go to GreatCreditFast.com. Click the link in the description just below this video. Schedule a free strategy session for Monday. Catch you next video.